Among those in this throng, Donna Kelly has someone who knew Princess Diana. Donna?
Bernie, thanks. We're outside Kensington Palace once again, and Julian has joined us. He played piano for Diana on a Red Cross concert in 1995. Did you actually get a chance to talk to the princess?
I did. It was a wonderful day. She came in. We were all presented as the people who were performing in the concert, and she actually said to me, she said, "Did you bring your record with you?" And I said, "Well, I was a bit taken aback," and I said, "No." And she said, "Oh, it's a shame. We could have given it to everybody in the room."
How was she in person?
Very natural. I remember so well. I played Chopin's Fourth Ballade. And I remember so well, a very strenuous piece to play, and I came and bowed afterwards, and she was smiling up at me, looking with very simple appreciation. I remember it so well, very clear to me. Yeah.
Did she talk to you about how important it was, the work that she was doing with the Red Cross?
Well, it was clear for so long how important that cause was. So it was actually the 125th birthday of the Red Cross. She'd come to make the event.
Certainly one of the things that the princess will be remembered, her work for charity. Bernie?
Thank you, Donna. The coffin in the cortege continues moving very methodically. Just to the south of Hyde Park, it is going to be leaving that area. It will go through the archway onto Apsley House, under the Wellington Arch, then up Constitution Hill to Buckingham Palace, and then St. James's Palace. The cortege now has moved away from Hyde Park Corner, and ultimately here, Westminster Abbey, of course, is where it will be coming to a halt. Christopher Hancock mourners, specially invited, upwards of 2,000, are slowly making their way into the Abbey. What happens?
Well, they will be shown to their places. The thing that fascinates me is the cross-section of people who are arriving, from Baroness Thatcher, a former Prime Minister, to Sting, etc. It reflects the huge range of Princess Diana's interests enjoying her lifetime, and I'm sure it's something that has never ever been seen before at a royal funeral, not to that width. Historically, of course, people have always been invited, but they were usually the great and the good, and this makes this something very different. But the precedent was set at Lord Mountbatten's funeral when it was insisted from the highest level that members of his ship's crews and members of the Burma Association should be inside the Abbey and not blocked outside, and I think that was right. And I think it's right in this instance for Princess Diana to be buried or prepared for burial in the presence of those she knew well. The interesting thing is that her coffin is now approaching Apsley House at Wellington Gate, The Duke of Wellington had one of the biggest state funerals ever when he died in the mid-19th century, and it passed through this gate and in front of Apsley House on its way to St Paul's Cathedral. And there are hundreds of wonderful paintings and prints of that event, and I'm sure there will be of this. It's a moment of great history. 150 years later, a beautiful young woman is following in the steps of a very old, very venerable politician.
History indeed, as we look inside Westminster Abbey. Along this cortege route, historic building after historic building. Whitehall, one of them. Martin Savage is there.
Bernie, we're on the street level here at Whitehall among the people, and the view is perhaps not the best, but if you want to get the feeling of what it's like to be here, this is exactly the sort of spot you want to be. These two young ladies have brought with them flowers. There are so many people that are scattered amongst this crowd that have brought these flowers, and no one's quite clear exactly what they intend to do with them. Let me ask, you hope to use them in some way. Tell us how.
Yes, in fact, what we are planning to do is when the coffin goes down, wanted to actually throw them out, but we've actually decided that probably wouldn't be very practical and advised not to, so we're going to go down to the Abbey after and leave them there. But this is an extremely sad day for the country and the world.
Hold them up so we might see them. To point out here, though, the crowd has been told that they shouldn't throw anything towards the procession, but in fact, no one really knows exactly what is going to happen when the procession goes by. All of this has been rather spontaneous, and that spontaneity continues, even as the funeral does. Bernie?
Thank you, Martin. Wherever you are watching in the world, if you are just joining us, the cortege, the catafalque, the gun carriage, and the coffin containing the body of the Princess of Wales continues moving slowly through the streets of London en route to Westminster Abbey. At Westminster, Brent Sadler.
Thanks, Bernie. The VIPs are continuing to file into the Abbey. We've seen here over the past 30 minutes or so the actors Tom Cruise, also Tom Hanks and Nicole Kidman, and a short time ago the arrival of the singer Diana Ross, reflecting Princess Diana's relationship with the star-glittered world of Hollywood. I'm now joined by Tony Tolman, who cycled here in the middle of the night to see this event. What do you make of what's unfolding here before you now? It is rather an epic event, isn't it?
Well, I hate to confess I'm 50 years of age and I have never experienced anything like it in my whole life before. I just cannot express my feelings.
Thank you very much. Bernie, back to you.
Thank you. Brent Sadler. The many charities that Princess Diana was involved with have representatives who will be joining in once the funeral cortege reaches St. James's Place. Throughout the past few days, we have talked to many people, and representatives of these various charitable groups have expressed complete ecstasy that they are going to have a chance to express their appreciation, to express their love for the work of Princess Diana by actually being in the funeral cortege. We're just looking at some of these representatives. We are looking at the representatives of some 500 charities who were very, very pleased to know the Princess of Wales because she worked so tirelessly for causes ranging from groups involved with combating AIDS to, of course, her work through the American Red Cross, or through the Red Cross, in a push for the removal forever from this earth of landmines, One thing that happened that was very remarkable earlier in the week, Buckingham Palace announced that there would be a memorial fund, officially called the Diana Princess of Wales Memorial Fund. And ever since Diana's death in Paris on Saturday night, hundreds of thousands of dollars have been flooding into London from around the world. And most recently in her life, Princess Diana was patron or president of 6 charities, and as we say, through the Red Cross, she had launched the Landmines campaign. But all the charities this woman touched are represented in the men and women we see moving slowly in this sad procession. As we watch the cortege move, this is Mohammed Al Fayed and his wife, Mr. Fayed, of course the father of Dodi Fayed, who was with Princess Diana the night they died in the Paris accident Saturday night. I was going to say that there is so much going on along the cortege route. CNN's Richard Blystone talked with a woman who was watching the procession and trying to do something else. Let's listen in.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay.
What kind of day is this for you?
Very, very sad. Very sad.
Was Princess Diana really part of your life in some way?
Yeah, very much a part of our lives.
In what way?
In every way. In every way. She is the royal family. She really is.
Can you tell us what you're writing?
I'm just thinking while I'm sitting here what I'm going to write. I don't know. I'm just thinking while I'm sitting here.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
Can you read it to us?
It just says the people's princess should always be remembered forever.
Opera singer Luciano Pavarotti, he was so overtaken upon hearing the word of Princess Diana's death that he simply could not sing in London. And a few days ago, Wednesday, his office sent word that while he would not sing at Diana's funeral, he would be here. He is here. At this kind of occasion, no one wants to be late. The funeral for Princess Diana will begin in 1 hour. And here at Westminster Abbey, dignitaries and friends continue arriving to be in place. Singer Elton John will be singing at this funeral. And this is something he wants very much to do. Also, another of Diana's favorites, George Michael, who arrived in London yesterday. No doubt you have heard that Elton John has rewritten the beginning lyrics of what he will perform. Candle in the Wind. And the opening line will go, "Goodbye, England's Rose. May you ever grow in our hearts." Outside Westminster Abbey, Big Ben pealed 9 o'clock in the morning here in London, and in some 57 minutes, the funeral for Diana, Princess of Wales, will begin. As the funeral cortege moves towards the top of Constitution Hill, very, very shortly it will be at Buckingham Palace. We mentioned the representatives of charitable groups. Let's go now to Brent Sadler. Brent?
Thanks, Bernie. Yes, Princess Diana was much involved with many charities, not least elderly people. I'm joined by Jill Manthorpe, who's come from the East Riding of Yorkshire in the north of England. She's from Age Concern. You met Princess Diana. What did you think about her role in the world of charity work?
Princess Diana will be much missed. Her work with older people was very highly valued in the United Kingdom and abroad. She had a great affinity with older people and really made them feel very special. I know that I speak on a lot of people who are involved in charity work in England in saying how much she'll be missed and how much we hope other people will contribute to the work that she was involved in.
Has there been anybody quite like her, or could there be anybody like her in the future who could gain so much attention for charities and their fundraising events?
I think everybody has a little bit of Princess Diana in them, and so we hope that many people will feel moved by the atmosphere here and throughout the country in getting involved in voluntary work.
What do you remember about the time you met her?
When I met Princess Diana, she was a very charming person who made a very moving speech about the needs of families with handicapped children, and that's again another area where she'll be much missed.
Do you think this event will help charities who have a strong association with the late princess to continue their work and to remain in the limelight, or are they going to suffer badly as a result of her death?
No, I think people have been very much taken by the appeal that's been made on behalf of charities and are contributing already in great numbers to the work and hoping that her work will continue, particularly with people such as the homeless and people with AIDS who are often forgotten.
Jill Manthorpe, thanks for joining us. Back to you, Benny.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Brent Sadler. Brent Sadler. The funeral will begin in some 55 minutes. Inside Westminster Abbey, invited guests continue arriving. There are very, very few politicians here. This clearly is Diana's funeral, and our analysts who are watching us as we report to you will have some things to say about that in just a short while. Every time 60 seconds go by, you hear the tenor bell. Everyone is moving very, very quickly now to get into place. The funeral cortege is moving along Constitution Hill, and in a short while we're going to come into the area where Buckingham Palace is. Then they will proceed to St. James's Palace. Right now, another landmark, Wellington Arch. Prime Minister Tony Blair, who before the House of Windsor responded to public pressures and criticism, Mr. Blair was very instrumental in defending the royal family as well as providing continuity. We recall he was the highest-ranking British official who spoke initially when the world was shocked by word that Princess Diana had died in the Saturday night Parisian accident. Former United States Secretary of State Henry Kissinger and his wife Nancy. There's one thing I want to point out to you, because once the funeral ceremony gets underway, you will not see this. Sir Richard Attenborough, famed movie director, we will not be seeing these kinds of close-ups. The Spencer family has requested that there not be close-ups such as this nature. So has the royal family. During the funeral, we will not be looking at close-ups. However, the Spencer family has said that when Diana's brother, Charles, the 9th Earl Spencer, and when her two sisters are speaking, the two sisters will be reading poems and her brother will give a tribute. When they are speaking, there will be shots of the Spencers, but beyond that, there will not be. And there are only two television networks inside Westminster Abbey, the BBC and ITN. The royal family, Queen Elizabeth, Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, they are leaving Buckingham Palace. On the right, Prince Edward and Prince Andrew on the left. And I'm looking for the Queen Mother. I don't confirm seeing her, but of course one naturally would look for her. Nicholas Davies reminds me that most likely the Queen Mother will be coming by car. Not only is the sun glaring on the royals as they shield their eyes, but of course from our position here, high over the grounds of Westminster Abbey, there's a bit of sun glinting off our television screen. But also in this assemblage, the Duke of Kent. Nicholas, we're going to be seeing some royals we haven't seen publicly for some time.
Yes, indeed. I mean, the royal family do want to show the people, the nation, that they all care. And the word will have gone out for a 3-line whip for them all to be on parade today. The Royal House of Windsor has taken quite a lot of stick, as we know, this week, and desperately the Queen trying to push back the avalanche of criticism.
As the funeral cortege moves, we hear shouts. So many mourners realize this is their very last chance to speak to Diana. And as the coffin goes past them, we hear shouts along the line. Expressions of love. The tenor bell pealing every 60 seconds. The cortege moving down at 70 paces per minute. Watching this, among all our reporters, Richard Blystone.
Hello, Bernie. Well, the crowd and anticipation are growing here. The Queen Elizabeth has just arrived out in the street in front of Buckingham Palace, along with other members of the royal family, and drew a round of applause as she emerged from the gate. With her, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, also divorced from one of the princes. Sarah and Princess Diana were great pals, even before the time that they were married, and this certainly will be a heavy blow to Sarah Ferguson. We're expecting that the royal family will now move off to St. James's Palace. One way we'll certainly know that is when the standard comes down, the royal standard now flying above Buckingham Palace, and you will remember that there was some controversy over what was to be done with the royal standard. People wanted to see a sign of mourning and grief on the palace. There was none because tradition did not provide for it. That standard is only supposed to come down when the sovereign leaves, and even when a sovereign dies. It is supposed to stay up because, according to the old phrase, the king is dead, long live the king. The plan is now, when the Queen leaves for the funeral, the flag will go down, her royal standard. The Union Jack will go up to half-staff as a gesture toward all the people who were out here. We were told a couple of hours ago, 10,000. It has been growing steadily since then. All kinds of people in all kinds of garb, from punk rockers to people in formal mourning suits. And from all nations, for that matter. From the United States and Japan and others, along with Britain. Curious thing about what happens at affairs like this in Britain, Bernie, they're generally left to be carried by the working class and the tourists. The upper, middle, and upper classes I can remember from the Queen's Silver Jubilee 20 years ago and from the royal wedding in 1981. They left town for the country. You see here your picture of Princess Margaret, the Queen, Prince Andrew, the cortege coming down Constitution Hill as we speak, led by its police outriders, flanked by Welsh guardsmen, men on horseback from the King's Troop of the Royal Horse Artillery, who do the ceremonial gun carriage drills here.
As we watch the cortege move along, Nicholas Davies, just seeing the royal family led by the Queen of England standing and waiting and standing is symbolic.
Oh, extraordinarily so. Never does the Queen wait patiently for something like this to occur. And the very fact that she's been seen waiting for Diana's cortege to come down Constitution Hill towards Buckingham Palace is remarkable. It is once again an effort on their behalf to show the nation that they really cared for Diana.
One thing that's quite remarkable about this event of this magnitude is that the media of the world are here and information becomes known very readily. We've not been able to confirm it, but the Associated Press is reporting that some mourners indeed have collapsed out of grief just as the cortege was moving away from Kensington Palace. Let's go back to Whitehall, where Martin Savage has this.
Bernie, we just want to demonstrate how the simplest things have come to mean so much during this remarkable week. I don't know if you can tell, I'm holding in my hand a card from a simple deck of cards, but it's not just any card. It is the Queen of Hearts. In fact, the Queen of Hearts is seen around here quite a bit, and it's obviously considered to be synonymous with Princess Diana. And if they don't mind, I'm going to read you the inscription that's on the back that's been written. It says, "The Lord was one day gathering flowers. He stopped a while and gathered our Queen of Hearts. Love from Kathy and Lucy in Ipswich." Kathleen joins us. How did this come about? How did you get this?
My daughter made me two, one for my sister and one for myself, when she knew we were coming up.
And what does the Queen of Hearts mean to you?
Well, Di is the Queen of Hearts. She was and she always will be our Queen.